right, everybody. Well. Welcome to another episode. Call me Mr. Broadstreet. We've got Mr. Luca Perasi returning with us, and Luca, it's an honor to have you back. How you doing, sir?
Thank you very much, Ed, for the invitation. I can't remember really when it was the last time, but maybe last year.
Yep.
So I'm happy to be back. I'm fine after the Christmas break. So new year, new project, new things, and so let's start together with you and this conversation.
Oh, sure, excellent. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and start. I know, first of all, for folks out there, and we're going to focus a bit on the Press to Play book, which I have, and the Ringo book right here. So, kind of delving between those two topics. Luca's latest book is about the Back to the Egg. I just literally ordered it about 2 hours ago before we're taping this. So, as we were discussing offline before we hit record here, so I'm looking forward to that. And in fact, if you want to start there just for a little bit, just for a few moments, we could say with the Back to the Egg book, I think you were explaining, it seems like you found a few new things with it. And how was it covering this album, which it's a favorite of mine? It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was a blast. I mean, as it happens with all of my research and my books. I mean, what I always say is that if I learn something by the end of my work, that is a good sign that the book is good, because I'm not here to teach anything to anyone. I mean, I'm kind of an expert on Paul, but the good thing when you're writing is that you learn so much. So I've been able to learn something new, also about Back to the Egg, as it was for Press to Play, and we will delve into it later. So it was a blast. I had the opportunity to talk extensively with Lawrence Juber. Um, I have also included some photos uh, from his catalog in the book, so you will find some really nice color photos in the book by Lawrence Juber. And so there, there's something to discover, something new to discover, little things, little details that were not known before. I don't want to disclose anything, but there's something that maybe it's related to a specific instrument that you thought it was used in a specific song and it was not. Okay, or
Yep.
some details about what's exactly um, represented in the inner cover of the album, something like that.
Yep.
And while Lawrence Juber was instrumental in shaping the book, because he's got a great memory, great details. So we were able to talk about the songs. We listened to the songs together, and also explore the dynamics within Wings at the time. So it's very interesting because it's a book on Back to the Egg, but also on the last uh, days, let me say, of Wings, because it goes up until the Japanese tour that was cancelled. So it covers basically 2 years of life for Paul and Wings.
Excellent. Yeah, well, like I said, I look forward to getting that. I know when I had Lawrence on the show actually a couple of years ago, he was gracious enough to do that after the 2024 Beetle Fest, and as you said, a wonderful guest, wonderful human being too. Absolutely, very down to earth, very willing to listen to questions, even if fans like myself have asked him maybe 1,000 times. He's just very patient. Like,
Yeah.
okay, just go with it. That. Had to be a great experience. And as we're segueing in, so we're kind of talking a little bit about Press to Play today because we're coming up on the 40th anniversary. I want to say September of '86 in America, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah.
And I know you do so many books. Kind of, what got you led to the path with focusing on Press to Play? So I guess was it just the next one you happened to come across, or please go
No,
ahead.
many reasons. The first was a particular meaning that this album has for me because it was the first album that I bought as a, let me say, conscious McCartney fan, because the previous one, Pipes of Peace, I just heard say because of Michael Jackson. So I wasn't a real McCartney fan at the time, although I knew him for Ebony and Ivory and stuff. But by the time of Press to Play, I was a conscious fan. So I bought the album with great joy and interest and curiosity. I still remember the day when I bought it, and so the first reason is a personal reason. The second reason is that it's a very interesting album um, for well because it came out in a at a time which was not really easy for Paul. Mid 80s was his most difficult period. Uh, the press was not good um, for him. He had the last album he got was Broad Street, which was call me Mr. Broad Street.
No, I
So
get it.
Broad Street
Yeah.
was only partially a success. I mean, the reviews at the time focused more on the film, and there were, I think, half and half. Half were bad, half were good. Uh, at least that's what Paul said, half and
Yep.
half. The album was a sort of appendix, let me say, to the film. It was a soundtrack, a
Mhm.
few new tracks, and then the Beatles songs, and some solo and wing stuff.
Mhm.
So kind of a different project. So uh, 3 years after Pipes of Peace, Press to Play, new producer, new band. So interesting album. It's a kind of a divisive album within fans.
Mhm.
Some fans love the album, some other not so much. So third reason is that is a kind of a overlooked album. So even Paul, uh, over the decades, never mm, paid so much attention to this album. I thought it was a good occasion to rediscover the album, and I got the opportunity to have some brand new interviews, and that's a fourth reason. So new material, new things to discover. I had an extensive interview with Hugh Padgham, the
Yes.
co-producer of the album. So it was a real honor to interview you, and we went through the tracks and we focused specifically on his production techniques and the instrumentation used, the effects, all this kind of stuff, which is a very interesting aspect for the album. And also Carlos Salomar, which I had interviewed way back into. All right, yeah,
Yes.
this stuff, this kind of stuff. And Carlos Salomar, I had interviewed him way back in 2011, and he was the first musician I've ever interviewed for a book on McCartney back
Mhm.
in 2011. So he was available to chat again with me, and we went through the songs, and I asked him about which kind of contribution on guitar he added in a specific track. So you will find lots of really interesting and unknown anecdotes throughout the book. So these are the reasons why I wanted to delve into Press to Play. And I must admit, this probably the most enjoyable thing I've ever done so far. I've enjoyed it so much because probably because it's linked to my memory when I was 16 and I bought the album and stuff. So there's a nice memory of my late dad at the beginning. Uh, we were in the car together one day, and I think I bought the cassette single of Pretty Little Head,
Hmm.
and I put it in the car, uh, in the stereo of the car, because I loved to present my dad with some new things I've discovered of McCartney music, um, specifically. And I well remember that he told me, "Oh, this is a good song." So we're talking about the remix, and I
Sure.
was kind of surprised because it's not the classic, let me say, McCartney song. And so
Mhm.
he caught something good in this song, and I well remember that moment. And so this is a part of the introduction where I explain also some little details that are related to me, and so that is a nice episode. So it was very refreshing to re-listen to all the songs, to really pay attention to lots of um, sonic details. And I think Press to Play is a sonic marvel.
Yes. Yes, no, indeed. It really is. It's got a lot going for it. I consider it a good album, a lot of good B-sides and different tracks. Yeah, it had to be interesting to interview Hugh Padgham because, I mean, his work alone with with Genesis, Phil Collins, the Tonight album with David Bowie, Peter Gabriel. I'm probably missing some people. The Police,
Yeah,
Synchronicity, and so on.
Sting as well.
Um, yeah, Sting is, that's right. Sting is Sting solo as well. Yeah, I mean he's, definitely. It's interesting looking back on it how there seemed to be, good moments, some moments of tension, of course, as explained, within the book, and of course within other things I've read with the album. What was it? I mean, I kind of what was it like with interviewing Hugh? How were you able to set that up, and kind of how did you find his? Does he look back on it a little bit more favorably, maybe saying closer to now than closer to then? So kind of walk us through that if you wish.
Well, I think he was kind of surprised that someone has got interest in an album which was not successful.
Yeah,
Was not successful in commercial terms. Reviews were so and so, and for him, it was really compared to the albums of the people that you have mentioned. So Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel, Police, compared to this kind of albums, it was a failure. Can can we say it was a failure? It was
commercially,
not
no,
well
exactly. That's
was
that's
not well
objective. Yeah,
received. It
of
was not
course.
well received. So I think he was interviewed a few years ago by Paul Sinclair of Super Deluxe Edition.
Yes.
He was interviewed for a special issue, and so is aware that there's interest around this album. So I made clear to him that I wanted to talk about music, and I wanted
Yes.
to talk about this his production techniques, and because there was some talk or books in the past that focus on his relationship with Eric Stewart, or the relationship with McCartney, which are very sensitive topics.
Of course.
Um, he had his word in the past. Eric Stewart has his word in the past. Paul said something in the past. So I thought, well, again, there's much material um, I can rely on, and I want to focus the interview on the music. And so it was an enjoyable moment. Again, I was very honored to interview one of the best producers uh, in rock and pop music of all times. So very down to earth, very available. We dissected all the songs, and yeah, it was a blast. It was a blast. It was very nice. So
Yes.
So it was it's a it's part of it's an important part of the book, and so I invite anyone who's interested, uh, to discover what's in Press to Play, that unmistakable 80s sound, which is one of the sides of the album, because I think among fans,
Mhm.
uh, many say, okay, this is a very 80s, which is true indeed. It was out in 86, so it's very 80s. I mean,
Yes.
but I can tell you that to my ears, uh, Flowers in the Dirt as well is very 80s in
Yes.
sound. So uh, that unmistakable 80s sound is one of the many aspects of the album. There's a certain degree of experimentation on the album, which I found very interesting even at the time when I uh, bought the album.
Mhm.
So there's a certain variety of music, different genres of music, as is typical with Paul McCartney. So
Yeah.
we were able with you to touch all of these points.
Oh yeah, and it's of course it's interesting. I mean, as we said, it's not a commercially successful album, right? I mean, I could say same about Broad Street. Only reached 21 in the charts. 500,000 went gold. This album did not go gold in the United States and reached I want to say 28 or something like that, and number 8 in the UK. I could be wrong. I could be
This
off, but kind of
this was
yeah.
number 8 in the UK and number 30 in the US.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I knew it was around that. I'm like, I'm trying to pull that one from memory. But yeah, that's correct. I mean, it was a very changing landscape. I mean, you had, of course, I mean, other rock music at the time. He's competing in the time of Prince, Madonna, maybe David Bowie to some extent, Bruce Springsteen, Michael Jackson, and
Yeah.
certainly with also his contemporaries, Phil Collins, and all the other acts mentioned, and trying to find his place in that mid 80s sound. And it is very interesting when you went into, as I was reading, like the gear part of it. I'm like, oh my god. And just to see, as I'm holding up that same page again, just to kind of see the gear that they were working with right here, as I'm
Hmm.
just putting that up on the cover. See, it's got good, great color photos, just great photos and promo stuff as well. It's very it's very interesting to see what they had then, versus now, relying more on technology. Um, Really well done.
It was the first album that Paul recorded in his own studio. That's another aspect
Yes.
that I deal with in the book. Mm, So another interesting aspect, because having a new studio, new gear, digital versus analog, because there was a coexistence of these two aspects. Uh, I thought it was worth exploring also this technical side. It
Mhm.
would have not been a complete book on Press to Play without this technical part explored at the beginning.
Oh, definitely. No, 100%. And then, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Yvonne's the One. That is such a great unreleased track. I mean, what a gorgeous track. I've always been surprised that never made the album or a single or a B side officially, other than the Eric Stewart re-recording
Mm.
recording a couple years later. But it's a beautiful song. Those that have gotten to listen to it out there. What's your thoughts on that one?
It's a beautiful song. I've always loved this, and for years I asked myself why it wasn't released. Could have been nice as part of the album. There's a ballad, there's a kind of acoustic ballad on the album, which is Footprints.
Mhm.
So it would have been not so out of place on Press to Play, because as I was telling before, Press to Play is many things. It's not only big drums. There's also an acoustic touch. There's a piano ballad as Only Love Remains. So there's
Yes.
lots of different kind of music. So definitely Yvonne's the one could have been part of the album. It's a very melodic song. I've always loved it. I don't know what the lyrics are about, but
Yeah.
I have well, there's a couple of things in the book about the lyrics as well. Um, but it's a kind of enigmatic story in the lyrics. But I'm with you. I love the song.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful song, and one of my, I mean, probably one of my favorites, as we're, right away was always one of my favorites on us for the United States getting the compact disc version with the three extra
Yeah,
tracks. Right away was always a favorite. The title track, "Press," and especially the video on MTV. Seeing that as a core memory for me.
yeah,
And,
yeah. I
and
well
with that,
remember.
you got to see, I'm sure you got to see the video on MTV or the equivalents, obviously.
Yeah, I well remember when I bought single because I remember that the single was issued in kind of a late July or something like that, and I heard a preview on the radio, on an Italian radio or press.
Mhm.
Then I went on vacation with my friends, and I didn't have the time to buy the single. So I went on vacation, and so I got to for the whole month of August, basically. And so I got back, and the first thing I did the morning before, the morning after being
Mm.
back from vacation was to go on a record shop and buy this single. And I think I was with my mother. I can't remember. I was with my mother, and we were on the bus back home, and I got this record, the single press, and I was looking at it. When you're savoring and you're thinking, what's in this grooves? And and there was a lady at some point that said, "Oh, it's a new song by Paul McCartney." I said, "Yes, yes, I just bought it." And she told me, "Oh, I get to tell my son because he's such a fan. So thank you, thank you." And so that happened, and so I've always loved Press. I think it's a great pop song, and um, it seems a simple song, but if you analyze a bit more in depth the structure of the song, it's made by four different parts. So
Mhm.
it's not that simple. And then it's up to anyone's taste. If you like the production, if you like, the kind of things that happen throughout the song. I love the song. I love the video. I think it's a very, uh, enjoyable song, very joyous and stuff. So very summary as well.
Yes, yes, especially seeing the London Underground, which I got to go to much later. As a kid, I saw the video and oh wow, that's so exotic looking to me. And then,
Yeah.
I remember there was an interview at the time. I think I read somewhere where he said, "Oh, acts like Duran Duran doing these $1 million videos." He said, "I just wanted to prove I could do a simple video and just going on the train, going amongst the public." That's a nice touch to it, I think.
Yeah, there's a brief account of how they made the video in the book. So it's another nice thing to discover with some technical details. It was not so easy to shoot, but anyway, the result is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Very
yeah, especially
candid,
especially
sort of a candid camera thing.
whoops. Nope, I'm going on to the next stuff. See, you can tell it's not AI, folks. It's real, but yeah, but definitely in the book here. But yeah, it's definitely putting that all together. Especially without the benefit of what we have even now with being able to text or setting up locations. It's a little more work involved with 40 years ago, almost 40 years ago at this point. Well, as I'm showing, I'm kind of leading up into the next part because also I love the fact, Luca, that you've got a very serious Ringo book right here. And I don't mean serious as in taking it seriously, but that you're really delving in and doing, the songs from 1970 to 1997 for volume one. I'm assuming a volume two will be on the way.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful to have it in its own separate book. So describe that a little bit to me, because I know, with your Paul books and with everything else you've done, kind of the genesis of that, kind of the start of that, and really focusing on Ringo's career.
Well, the thing is that I got a project of doing different books, different reference books, and
Mhm.
my Paul McCartney music, his ideas, the stories behind the songs, are still the only reference book about Paul McCartney's music, believe it or not, which
Yes.
deal exclusively with the songs. So at some point I thought, well, Ringo's got an interesting career. Um, he's a drummer, but many albums, singles in the 70s and the 80s were quite crowded in
Yes.
discographic terms for him. So first thing I thought, it's a good idea because I love Ringo. There's lots of interesting material. I got some archival things that I wanted to explore more, and so I took my time and I thought, yes, the first reference book on Ringo with the information people love, like the stories behind the songs, the recordings, the recording dates, the studios, also the musicians, anecdotes, stuff like that. And then I thought, well, it's better do part one and part two because Ringo did so much,
Yes. Still
especially
does. He's
in
he's got
in the
he'll
last.
have another album coming out this year, I believe. Like a
Yeah,
like a companion to Look Up, kind of Look Up Part Two, maybe. Uh,
yeah, sure. And so I thought, well, better divide this project in two parts. Otherwise, it could have been really a big volume, and I wanted something maybe less serious, or maybe it's less intimidating. I mean, for people, and maybe someone could say, okay, I've enjoyed him in the 70s and 80s, and then maybe it's another story. I didn't follow Ringo after that, and so
oh, of course.
I thought it was another enjoyable thing to put together all the songs. You got to be very sure about. Okay, did I am missing something, because it's not that easy when you go writing a book and say, okay, how many songs they are,
Yes.
because when it's a single or an album, it's easy. Then it comes to some obscure B-sides or maybe some side projects, a soundtrack thing. So I was able to lay down all the songs, and I have also included some unreleased songs.
You were
In
reading my mind. Yes, right here. Chip's Moment session.
Yeah, the Chips Moment sessions were an interesting uh, turning point, let me say, for Ringo at the time. So I thought it was
Yes.
very good to have a chapter dedicated to this um, thing that happened in his career. We all know that Ringo went through alcohol abuse, and at some point he got to stop and say, "Okay, I got to be sober if I want to do good things again for my music and for my life." And so it's it's a uh, centered on music, but I explain also what's in the background in Ringo's life.
Exactly, and that's and of course, I mean, I've alluded to it before on the channel when I've covered Ringo, or obviously we're happy that, God bless, he'll be 86 this year. He seems to be very healthy. He seems to look a lot younger in some ways than he did even back in the late 80s, or before rehabilitating himself. Obviously, I don't want to focus too much on that, but that is a factor. Time Takes Time, one of my favorite albums, 1992. I remember it being released. I may have been the only kid in my high school at the time excited for the album, because it unfortunately didn't do well commercially, much like with Paul Press to Play. But I mean, Time Takes Time is a solid album, probably my favorite. You know,
I agree with you. I agree with you, Ed. It's probably my favorite, along with Ringo and um, well, the other one is Book Oops the Blues for me. But speaking of pop songs, I think Time Takes Time is a fine album. It was, yeah, it was not a success, but in Italy it got good exposure. And at the time, I was able to see Ringo for the first and only time in my life in concert, because he did a couple of dates in Italy, and one of them was very near where I live in Milan. So I was able to see Ringo, and it was very emotional night.
oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, just describe that. I mean, so how did you for that? How did you get the tickets? I mean, I'm sure that couldn't have been well, maybe not quite as easy as now, but yeah. I mean, describe the feeling of walking in, seeing him. I have yet to see him myself.
I get to tell you this little anecdote. Okay, I was with my girlfriend of the time. There was my brother, and I was waiting for a friend who lived just outside Milan, and so I was waiting for him, and I got uh, my dad's car, and at the time, my dad's car has got a phone in, like the
Yeah,
phone
yeah,
that you
yeah,
that, that you
like old school.
see
Yeah,
on the Broad Street car. So one
yes,
of the
yes.
first cell phones that were incorporated in the car. So at some
Mhm.
point, um, this friend of mine got a problem with his train, so he could not join me, and so he was able to reach me on the phone on the car where I was waiting with my friends. And so he told me, "Well, I'm late." And I said, "Well, okay, I can wait another, I don't know, 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Then I got to go. Otherwise,
Mhm.
we will lose the concert." So it didn't arrive, and so at that point, from Milan to Brescia, which is the location where the concert was, it takes roughly, I don't know, 1 hour, something like
Mhm.
that. And I took the highway, and I never uh, run so fast with a car,
Sure.
because I mean the highway was completely empty. So I was lucky; it was empty, and so I was able to reach the place safe first. Second, we were on time. So the feeling was very, said, very emotional, because I don't know, I didn't expect maybe the this this reaction from myself, because in the family the big fan of Ringo was
Mhm.
my brother.
Mhm.
Okay, he was
Sure.
more of a Ringo fan, and I was more of a Paul fan. So also because of the fact that he was such a fan, and we were there together, that added to the emotion. I think I almost cried when Ringo uh, entered the stage. Uh, great night, absolutely.
Oh, well, now I'm picturing as you're relaying that story in the back of my head. You know what I'm picturing is that scene in Broad Street where Paul's just zooming in and out, in the car. I could just picture it just going by. But yes, yes, folks, drive safe. But we're encouraging that. But I could understand. I mean, my goodness, and of course, to have a phone in the car at that time, at early '90s, still a very big deal. Now we have them all over the place. But that's so amazing. Did you have like a favorite song from that night that he performed, or one you go, oh wow, I didn't think he'd do that one, or anything like that from the
Um,
concert?
I was looking for. I think he performed "Weight of the Word," if I'm not wrong, which is a song. It's one of it's in my top five Ringo songs. I must
Yes,
tell you. So
yes.
this, and I was looking for "With Little Help from My Friends," and "I Don't Come Easy." I think
Mhm.
this three alone for me could make a night, could make an evening. You know.
Oh God, I know. And Weight of the World, I agree. For me, it really top-notch production, top-notch singing. You see, Ringo is back. He's back after a period, excluding the work he did with Paul during the '80s, excluding his time with Cloud Nine with George, but kind of on his own. Like, okay, I'm back. I'm ready. I'm sober. I'm ready to do this again. He hasn't really stopped since. I mean, I think people were making a big deal at that point. Oh, Ringo at 52, and my goodness, here he is at almost 86 and out on the road again and doing it. I'm very happy. Weight of the World, just a wonderful video, wonderful song. It doesn't get
Hmm.
enough praise, in my view, at least in my view, among the general public.
It's a song that if would be would have been published in the 70s,
Yes.
would have been a smash success. It's a fantastic song, perfectly built. It's a perfect pop song, I think.
Yeah, and it works well within Ringo's range too. I mean,
Yeah.
he can sing better than I can. Let's put that out there right away. I'm not nowhere known for singing at all, but but kind of his range, especially at the time, or
Yeah.
in general, maybe a little bit more limited. Where John and Paul and even George could have hit different notes, things like that. But I mean, it works well. And it works well with a team, even if he's co-writing something. I've noticed that as a theme, especially
Yeah.
you know, post, let's say, even post Ringo, post Goodnight Vienna, incorporating a lot of folks, and getting by with a little help from his friends, which I love. I love that you have that. And just the idea of like seeing all these other acts too, where he doesn't have to maybe carry a whole 2 hour show on his own.
No, carry on a show as Paul does is not easy, and it's
Mhm.
not the role of Ringo. I think it was very wise man in not putting up a show with him at the center of the stage for 2 hours. I mean,
Mhm.
he just put together a supergroup, which it was an idea he had since the mid 70s, and
Mhm.
so he put this to life. And then when you got this supergroup, then at that point you are offering your audience a different kind of experience, not only Ringo and all his solo stuff and Beatles stuff, but also the other musicians because they got such a great repertoire. So it was
Oh
a
yeah.
fantastic night also because you were exposed to such great songs from the others. So it was a fantastic concert.
Now, with that tour that you saw him on, was Billy Preston with him at that point? I want to say he was with the first incarnation, but I don't know. Was he?
I don't think so, but I could be
Mhm.
wrong. Um,
Mhm.
so many members, and I have included the concerts and all the lineup in the book, but uh, in this moment I can't remember. I don't think Billy Preston was there in 1992, but feel free to correct me. But anyway, the right answer is in the book, guys.
Well, see, in the back, let me get that. Like right here, of course, volume two, we've got that. And yeah, I'm like, I'm feverish. I'm looking through the book. I'm like, wait, it is here somewhere. But trust me, it is in here, folks. It is definitely in here. And, just trying to remember where it was exactly. But yeah, it's just amazing that, for, Ringo to have had this long career, for Paul, obviously, to have had such a long career, and of course George, as long as he had his career, and John, as long as he had his career, and really digging into the solo years. And I really, first of all, I really appreciate that, Luca. I don't know when you sleep, honestly, and I know other folks have brought this up to you because my goodness, you produce quality work. We get works like this very focused on the solo years, whereas other general music or biopics will focus on more the group stuff, which is fine. But I'm happy that you do this. I just want to say thank you for doing this.
You know what's my answer when they ask me, "Do you sleep?" And I say yes, because if you do sleep well, then you're able to do this kind of things and to do many things. So I need to sleep.
Of course, but I mean, you just, I mean, you really, with all the books you put out, you keep putting out. Like I said, I know the Back to the Egg one is coming to me, so I do want to do obviously a separate review on that at some point on the channel. And I just wanted to kind of check in with you now. What are some other things that you're working on, and where folks can find you? Of course, like with our last time together, I'm going to put all the links, which I believe I still have from you, in the description below. But what are some things that you're kind of working on or thinking of, or whatever you feel free that you can speak on?
Yeah, I mean, the next thing, which is very near because it will be out within the end of January,
Mhm.
it's a book on the George Harrison album. I was able to interview co-producer Ross Titelman last summer.
Yes.
So I thought, yes, it's an album I love so much, and because of the fact that we are in 2026 and many people are not with us anymore, many people who witnessed the recording of a specific album and stuff, I was able to talk with Russ Titelman, and so I thought, well, that's good for building a book on this album. So that's the next one for me within the end of January,
Good.
and the next on Paul, because people know me uh, for my work on Paul McCartney. Uh, it's a book on London Town. I was not able to finish the book at the same time as Back to the Egg.
Mhm.
Project was to do both at the same time, but it takes lots of time to put together a book, put together a project, interview the people, um, know which are the photos that you want to be in. Then there's the layout. I got an editor who has to help me doing all these things. Then you got to think about a photo cover, all these kind of things. So I thought, well, maybe one project at a time. So London Town will be next for Paul, and so that's the two things I can tell you now.
No, obviously, and of course, yeah. I mean, those are alone, and I'd obviously love to have you back again because first of all, that 1979 George Harrison album, really underrated. I mean, you've got a top 20 single on there, I believe, with what's
Blow
I'm
away.
blanking. Thank you. Yeah, foremost Beatles expert, right? As Paul George, the anthology. Yeah, "Blow Away." Thank you. I'm like, wait, I know the song, but yeah, "Blow Away" was a very beautiful song.
Oh
Of
yeah.
course, the production. I mean, that very kind of late '70s, mellow production, but you got "Not Guilty," being re-recorded after being held
Yeah.
over from the White Album. Certainly, "Blow Away," as we mentioned. I mean, just "Here
Yes.
Comes the Moon," which I always thought was an interesting
Cosmo.
obvious sequel.
Uh,
"Your Love Is Forever." Just so many really great songs, a really great set of
it's
songs.
a it's a great melodic album. I mean, the pop songs are phenomenal. You mentioned "Blow Away," "Love Comes to Everyone." There's "Faster," which is a song I love so much.
Yes.
uh, "Your Love Is Forever," "Dark Sweet Lady." I mean, it's an album that you can get tired of, and
No.
it's really one of my favorite. I think it's my favorite George's album.
It's definitely a top five for me. I think that one, especially "Love Comes to Everyone." There's that synth part. I think Steve Winwood is. I know he's on the
Yeah,
album. Is he on that track? I want to say he is.
yes,
Let's
he
check.
is.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
is on the
okay.
track. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Just, I mean, just very beautiful. melodic, as you said. And then, of course, London Town. I've had enough. With a little luck, the full version, which I love personally, versus the single version. So many great tracks on that as well.
Yeah, London Town was it's a I think it's my favorite Wings album, London
Mhm.
Town. Whatever the reason. I mean, it's not all the songs are perfect. It's a very kind of strange in some spots, and that's the
Mhm.
reason I love the album. And so I got some material that I want to rediscover a bit. Um, I've interviewed Tom Anderson, assistant engineer, which is not with us anymore. I've interviewed him twice in 2015 and 2018,
Mhm.
but I was able to include only a small portion of what he told me in the Music is Ideas book
Mhm.
for reason of space. Then I got other interviews with Tim Summerhays, which worked on Mull of Kintyre, which
Mhm.
of course is part of the book, and other two arrangers. But also in this case, I wasn't able to, include all the information from these conversations in my Music is Ideas book. So there's lots more in this kind of books. They are an expansion of what's in the Music is Ideas and not an extraction of
Yes.
information. So I thought, yeah, it's worth having the book also in London Town, and people are waiting for this deluxe edition since years. Maybe it's
I
just
know.
our perception why we're waiting. They never officially announced um, a deluxe edition for London Town or Back to the Egg, but uh,
No.
we had seen all the other sets, and obviously we were waiting for this kind of thing. So quite coincidentally, let me say, but I thought at the same time, well, it's nice offering people books on records and albums that so far have been not explored officially. So if you want a physical product now about London Town or Back to the Egg, and talking about records, you don't you can't have it. I mean,
Right.
if you want a CD of London Town or Back to the Egg, I think you got to struggle to have it. Maybe the
Yes.
market is not as big as it was before for CDs and physical stuff, but for sure, Paul McCartney's audience is very into physical stuff,
One
and
hundred
I'm one of
percent.
them.
As you can see, me too. Hey, I look at it that the same thing. I'm always on the hunt, looking out, going something. If it's something reissued, something a deluxe set. Of course, Press to Play and Broad Street would be my other two candidates, along with Off the Ground. For finishing up at least the archives. It's a wish list, I know, at this point. And I really, yeah, I just really, I'm trying to search for the words here, but I just really, we really love the physical media. Um, I think for me, Back to the Egg might be my go-to Wings album, so that's why I'm like, okay, I'm ordering the book, it's coming, so I can't wait to dive into that. Eagerly looking forward to, obviously, with London Town, with the George Harrison self-titled 1979 album.
Mhm.
Well, I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you, Luca. And besides the other projects and everything, we'll just go ahead if you want to plug anything else or anything else before we go ahead and wrap up.
Oh man, thank you for the spot. I mean, we have mentioned this three books that were published in 2025. So, Press to Play, That Unmistakable 80s Sound, Back to the Egg, the story of Wings' last album, and Ringo, which is called I Play the Piano If It's in C, which is a kind of a tongue-in-cheek, let me
Yes,
say, uh, title. We all know from which song this verse is taken,
early
which is
1970, right?
early 1970,
Yes,
and at the same time, it explains the fact that Ringo is not a full-time composer. I mean, so it's
Yes.
not Paul McCartney. And so I think we plugged everything. I can remember all people that I wrote this to: reference books, Paul McCartney Music is Ideas, the stories behind the songs, Volume 1, 1970 to 1989, and Volume 2, 1990 to 2012. So far, these are the first two volumes. Third volume will come um, after we will see, or we will uh, have the new album of Paul McCartney. So I already did quite a lot of work for a volume three. But let's wait and see. Let's enjoy Paul's new album this year, and then I would think about the last piece of the jigsaw.
That's well. Here's my thought on it, and maybe you agree, maybe you don't, about the release time for this year for Paul's new album. My gut feeling, purely gut feeling. I have no inside information. I don't have any connections for anyone out there, or obviously Luca. Um, my gut feeling is with the Man on the Run documentary coming out in February on Prime, on Amazon Prime. I get the feeling it would probably be a July release would make sense. I get the feeling it'd be 5 or 6 months later. I can't see him releasing something early in this year. What's your thoughts on the release date? When do you think we might see it? As a pure guess.
They know better than me at MPL or any other record company which are
Yep.
the best months for releasing an album. Um, I was thinking initially, I was thinking about a March release, but as you are saying now, February wings, so they gotta put some space between this release and maybe the new album. Um, could be June. Uh,
Yeah.
Last June release I remember was Flowers in the Dirt, early
Yeah.
June.
Yeah.
So there was a that could be a good thing. I mean, kind of late spring release.
Mhm.
The market is very different now
Oh yeah.
uh, from 1989. So maybe a good month in 35 years ago or 37 years ago, it's not the same now.
Yeah.
Uh, but I would bet on a first half of the year release instead of going um, towards the autumn. And let me say, I hope it's the first half of the year because the wait will be shorter. So
Yeah, we've been waiting a while for this one, and I the reason I picked July a little bit interestingly enough is I think okay, it turns 84 this year, June 18th. That kind of leads into some press from that. And assuming if he does a fall tour of, let's say, Europe or the United Kingdom with the Got Back tour, purely a guess on my part, but that's kind of where I'm thinking along those lines. But I could be totally
no,
wrong.
but I mean, if he goes out with an album in spring, let's say, he would book probably some tour dates in Europe because it's spring summer and he likes to have a spring
True.
summer in Europe and then uh, go uh, maybe to South America when it's hot there, and so
Yeah.
it's a very wise
Yeah.
schedule.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah.
I would do the same. I would do the same if I could, and so that could make sense. I mean, and maybe you could go to America. I, I don't know. Maybe Paul is in a good shape, but anyway, it's 84, so he loves to tour.
Yeah.
So and we love to dream every year that he's going to tour again. Maybe at some point he will slow down, but until is okay, he will do um, concerts and live performance because he loves that and he knows that we love him doing that.
100%. And actually, I can't think of a better note than to end on that one. But Luca, thank you so much for returning. I will be having you back. I'm going to link to obviously everything in the description.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much, Luca. And to everybody out there, thank you for watching this episode, listening to this episode. If you're not seeing it on video, on your commutes, I know I've gotten a comment from one or two folks. Someone I know out in Colorado say that sometimes they listen to this as part of their commute. So I hope it's nice and soothing for them. But thank you all for the thumbs up, the like, the subscribes, the support. Thank you, Luca, for the support. And we'll have you back on again. And everybody, I'll see everybody in the next video. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.